I'm coming in loud and clear. Might hear me on the radio. Breaker 19. Anybody got their ears on?
Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Farms. Check it out. The fine folks over at Retekess sent me the new TR113 to check out. This is kind of their higher end SSB capable shortwave general coverage receiver. And we're going to open it up and check it out. And I hope it's a winner. And well, before we get into the radio itself, let's go ahead and check out what this box is. Cool, okay, that's new. Look at that, an external antenna. Looks like a ferrite. Yeah, look at that. That's actually probably very helpful, especially for AM stations or shortwave listening, but definitely for AM. So that's pretty cool. I like that. Now it still has, of course, the built-in antenna, which is big. That would mostly be for FM, but that is nice. I like that. Cool. All right, let's take a look at what else we got here. I'm not going to take this out of the baggie here, but it does have a strap. You can strap between these two here and have like a shoulder strap for it. Comes with a USB-C cable, a very tiny screwdriver probably to access the battery, and a little brush, which is cool to get the fins cleaned out. And it says here we got two manuals, which is a little different. We have an app manual and we have a full instruction manual. I don't do apps because we don't get cell phone reception up here, so it's, can't even download an app really. And then we got 27 pages. Well, actually 33 pages all in English. And we do have FM band selection. AM band selection is 520 to 710. FM is 87.5 to 108. Let's see what else we got here. Band select. So there's I mean, this is a complicated radio. I know there's a lot of buttons and knobs on this one, so it's going to take us some time to get through everything. And I probably will miss something inevitably, but that's just unfortunately the way it is. A lot of stuff going on here. Matter of fact, I'll probably have to put better glasses on. It's writing here. Okay, so midwave we already covered. Shortwave is 2.3 megahertz all the way up to 30. And it does support lower sideband and upper sideband. Long wave 153 to 522 is also covered. VHF 20 to 250 megahertz, UHF 250 to 999 megahertz, and air is 118 to 138, CB 25 to 28, and even weather band. So this thing is, it's pretty much covered, general coverage. It's got it all, which, I mean, having VHF in there as well is kind of cool. Wow, yeah, a lot going on here. And it looks like it's, yeah, it's all in English too, so that's a pretty hefty manual. All right, so just some observations here. Our antenna tuner, we do have shortwave, shortwave 1, shortwave 2, and then we have midwave. We have an external plug for an antenna as well. So right, this one here, it's kind of a neat feature having that in there. If you don't want to use that, you can use a regular long wire or whatever else you want on here. Up on top, we do also have, and I don't recognize what plug that is, but we do have a way of plugging in an antenna up there as well, like a screw-in style. So that's in there. I keep pushing buttons. I apologize for that. We have off, and then we have on and antenna, so we can choose which we want. Is the internal or external. Visually, it's similar to the other radio that I've reviewed. I can't really see off the top of my head what has changed other than some of the plugs look to be in slightly different locations. It does have this rear-facing speaker and does have a kickstand, which is cool. Yeah, that's always nice. It's something I said I missed on the LC90. I think hopefully they'll put that in any future versions of that. So a lot of stuff over here. On the side, USB-C for charging. It does have a micro SD card port, an aux in, I guess that would be, and an earphone jack out. I know this is also, I believe, Bluetooth capable, so you can use this as a speaker for Bluetooth if you wanted to. And a lot of modes, a lot of switches, a lot of dials. Let's see if anything else here really stands out before we get close up on it. Now on this side, not a whole lot going on. The bottom is just rubber feet. And you can see on the back what I was talking about with the rear firing speaker and front firing speaker. So that's kind of a bass boost, I guess you would call that. Nice. And it's like a dark olive green, army green. I like the fact that it's got that external antenna. That really ups the game a little bit there. And I don't know if you're able to see that, but we'll get closer in on this here. We do have a nice meter here for probably signal meter, and we also have clock, timer, stuff like that. Cool. Well, there's not a lot to see on the outside here, but let us get the camera closer in. We'll go through some of the many features and functions on this radio and go through a band scan with it. It's a fairly early on a Sunday morning. I'm not sure what is playing shortwave wise, but there's always something out there. Let's do it. All right, well, here we are on a bench with this thing. I'll turn the volume up a little bit. I don't want to go crazy on the volume because I've got the microphone right here between us. I want you to be able to hear it and me. So I'm going to leave it down unless we're actually searching for some music or something to listen to. I started off with it on AM mode. You can see you can change between European spacing and US spacing. I've already gone ahead and done that. To do that, you go into AM and you press and hold subband. It switches from one to the other. Signal noise. So we have the ability, you can see as we come up here, and you can see the level of signal and noise ratio. I'll try, since it does have this. Actually, I'm going to tune to next. This thing does have that ability right there, and I love that. I can go through here and scan the band without having to click through if you don't want to do that. So 1450 sometimes. We'll rotate that antenna around. Not getting anything there. 1290 sometimes. Nope. And 1200. Nothing. But you can see as I move this around, I'll turn the volume up a little bit. That external antenna, it does make a difference. Quite a difference, I would say. Alright, so there's that mode there. Of course, we have a lot of other bands. I'm going to turn the volume down here just so I can show you some of these bands. So we get into, there's our long wave, and again, it's changeable. You can go through that. I don't remember how far that goes, but not very far. So long wave here in the US, I get a lot of people who listen to my videos here from overseas, and a lot of them ask about long wave. Does the radio have it? Does it do this? Does it do that? Does have it. Never heard a long wave station in my life, and probably never will. But it is there. I know that in Europe there's still 1 or 2 stations broadcasting in long wave. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get any of those. And of course, here we are on the FM band, and got to be a little careful about what we put on here, but let's see what we can find.
That one's kind of pretty straightforward. How about this one? I refuse to give my approval to anything.
And so you see we have our step set up, volume up here, bandwidth,
no, okay,
mode, and then FM.
Yes, no OK and nook. It looks
A
like
short press brings
everything is
back
off.
up the
I'm not
visual
surprised.
here.
It's 12 p.m.
And we have different display modes we can get into.
Not on. No on.
We can go
or
into just
noon.
a graphic
No on or
equalizer.
noon, yes.
We can have signal to
I
noise
have a bed
ratio.
and a chair,
And
but
we
no
can set up the
furniture to
time
eat
and
dinner
alarm
on.
through here as well.
You have to admit.
All right, let me turn that back down. Even though it's even though it's just speech, I don't want to get any kind of trouble there. I've had some trouble with copyright stuff on this channel before, just trying to review a radio, which is absolutely absurd, but that's the country we're living in. So we'll move along here into a different band. Now we're into the shortwave bands, and we can do a scan through that. I don't know what's going to be playing this time of day, but we'll let it roll through there. And while that is happening, I'll go ahead and talk to you about some of the other features and functions this thing has. While it's scanning around here, we'll just go through some of this stuff. Band select gets you from AM, long wave, medium wave, and short wave, and FM and AM modes here. Subband, when we're in shortwave, that becomes a bigger deal because we can switch between the different carriers of, you know, actual shortwave bands, not the ham bands, but the shortwave bands. So that's in there as well. UHF and VHF brings us into basically this thing is a scanner. I mean, you can listen to 70 centimeter and 2 meter stuff as well as you know, business band radio stuff, GMRS, FRS. So it really is full coverage in that sense, and that's pretty awesome that it has that. That's pretty cool. Selection, we can change between internal antenna and external antenna. We'll leave it on external. I'll go ahead and continue my scan. All right, so continuing here, right, we can change the bandwidth here with a short press, so we can adjust bandwidth all the way down on the AM anyway. I'm going to leave it at 6. And then if we long press, we're changing from AM mode into upper sideband and lower sideband, so you do have that ability as well. Press it again. I waited too long on that. There we go. And then we can go into lower sideband. And again, our bandwidth is currently set pretty low. Short press there. You can see it moving up. And I think 4 is the highest you're going to get. But I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at 4 for right now. Okay, I'm going to switch back over to the AM band. And we'll continue to scan here just to see if we can pick anything up while I'm going through the rest of this stuff. Set antenna is pretty straightforward. I think it'll stop it when I do this, yeah. But right now I have it to external because we're using this antenna here. We can switch that. And now we have DX, so we do that as well. And then we hit it again and we're back to internal. Matter of fact, I guess I'll leave it as internal for right now just to see. Attenuation, that is, you know, if we have an overpowered signal, we can drop that down. And I mean, that's fairly... And then we have mode here. So do I want to use this as a Bluetooth speaker? Well, there you go. There's our mode, right? Do I want to go ahead and get out of that? We don't want to do that. All right, then we also have, you know, play pause here, so we can mute this thing. And if you get into the TF card stuff and you want to play music through this through a TF card or a recording, these are the functions you're going to use for that as well. Volume up and down is the same. If you go to next or previous, you're just changing, you know, from one song to another or from one program to another. That's how we use that. Short press, of course, brings it to just mute. Then we have alarm over here. We can get into that and change that as well. Although you have to have the radio. Let me turn the radio off for some of this stuff. You can't be. There we go. So now if I want to set the time or whatnot, you press and hold this. And we can change the time. Right now is 3 o'clock, so 1500 and 28. And the date is 24, but we're all the way into June. And I think we're at, what, 20, oh my gosh, time keeps on slipping into the future. There we go, Sunday, right? Now if I want to set an alarm, I could do that as well. I don't want to mess with that right now, but you do have that option. When it comes to display, you can change between alarm. You can see we can change it to no. I don't want anything like that. All right, let's go ahead and turn this thing back on. We also have sleep timer if we short press. I don't want that either, but for right now, I guess we'll leave that on as well. I'm going to turn the volume down here. I'm going to let the scan continue as well. Cool, so the rest of the stuff is as simple as you would imagine. We have direct entry down here, keypads, enter it in. We have an equalizer, which is kind of cool. And we do have the ability to add presets, so if we find a station, and I'll see if we can find one here this early in the morning, we don't have good reception. Plus we have a pretty good storm coming through, an actual storm, not a solar storm. So tuning up and down is obvious. A short press brings you up, a long press brings you into scan mode. I do really like scan mode. And then of course you can also delete presets as well. We'll go into settings here, and we have our gain, squelch level, attenuation gain, and that's about all we got, right? And then we have scan, press and hold, and we're back into scan mode. Now we started way down on the bottom here. Actually, let me stop scanning here. I'm going to turn the volume back up here. And I want to show you, so we have, 5 kilohertz clicks, or we have single way down the list, right? So real fine tuning when we're looking at lower sideband, upper sideband, kind of shortwave communications or ham communications. Again, we can change the bands here. Let me go back in. I want to get back into shortwave here, but then I want to show you that we can roll through more quickly. So right now, this time of day, we're just not hearing anything. All right, well, got going through the scan here, and we'll go through the channels and see what we picked up here. Some of these, hopefully, you can hear. $59.50. I think is WRMI. They're pretty faint. We're getting a lot of interference. It's just a dead night, honestly. 60-30.
Californiano, bien chévere.
73-35. 73-65, which I think is Eugene Scott's channel. No, that's WRMI. They're playing Ted Randall's stuff there. I think. 75-20 coming in nice and clear.
We're not facing victory, my friend. I told you before.
The Overcomer.
And I tell you again.
$93.95. That sounds like Abbott and Costello. And then back over to channel 1. So, you know, let me turn the volume down. Even on a terrible night for radio, a terrible day for radio, and I've been playing with CB and ham all day, and pretty much all the bands are dead. Even with all that, there are some shortwave stations coming in. I would recommend, if you were going to buy this, that the very first thing you buy for it, and I do like this, you know, ferrite rod here, this external antenna. It does help with directionality. But the very first thing I would buy for this would be an MLA 30 Plus. They're not expensive, less than $40 or right at $40. And well, with that, you get one of the best shortwave loop antennas that you can buy. And if you don't have the money for that, may I suggest just an alligator clip and a long wire antenna, as long as you can find a piece of wire. And that will also help with reception a lot with these things. And that's all shortwave radios. It's not just limited to this. Cool, well, let's move on. So I would say that this radio is not cheap. It does offer a lot for what it has. It does have lower sideband, upper sideband, does have full band coverage, general coverage receiver, and it does have the features and functions you're looking for: scan, alarm, sleep mode, all that stuff, and the ability to act as a Bluetooth speaker, and the ability to act as a media player if you put an SD card in there. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Anyway, I'll leave a link to where you can pick up one of these, and I'll see you next time. Take care.